here in the Zoom webinar, as well as anyone that's watching out there on Facebook. Very excited to have you all here. Very excited to have our two authors here. For those of you that aren't familiar, and you're probably not, The Crowded Bookshelf is a very new bookstore. It's a non-traditional bookstore. It is online only. I am the creator, owner, founder, whatever you want to call me. My name is Renee. Like I said, Crowded Bookshelf is an online bookstore only. We specialize particularly in author events, but you can order any book you want from us. So thank you so much for being here. This is really exciting for me because things are still just getting started, getting off the ground for me. And it's great to see that people are here at my event. So really quick, since I mentioned we are here for Bookstore Romance Day, I just want to give a quick little blurb about what Bookstore Romance Day is, if you've never heard of it. So the quick definition from the Bookstore Romance Day website is that Bookstore Romance Day is a designated day to give independent bookstores an opportunity to celebrate romance fiction, its books, its readers, and writers, and to strengthen the relationships between bookstores and the romance community. If you are a romance reader and you've been one for a while, you know that the relationship between the romance community and the indie bookstores has been a little rough. So it's really great that we have something like Bookstore Romance Day to help kind of repair that relationship and really give the romance genre the support that it deserves. So we have two fantastic romance authors here with us today. We have Janna MacGregor. Say hi, Janna.
Hello, how are you guys today?
And we also have Melonie Johnson here.
Hi.
Hello, Melonie. Gonna read a quick intro for both of these authors if you have never met them before, and if you have, well, this will all just be old news to you. Janna MacGregor was born and raised in the Boot Heel of Missouri. Yeah, Missouri native.
Yeah, baby.
She is the author of the Caversham Heiresses series, which begins with The Bad Luck Bride. Janna writes stories where compelling and powerful heroines meet and fall in love with their equally matched heroes. She is the mother of triplets and lives in Kansas City with her very own dashing rogue and two smug, but not surprisingly perfect pugs, including Mad Max, as mad as he might be. And Melonie Johnson, aka the Writing Lush, which is a great nickname, by the way, Melonie. Every time I see it, I'm just like, nailed it. She enjoys sipping cocktails that start with the letter M. Her smart, funny, contemporary romances include Too Good to Be Real, which is her newest book, and as well as her award-winning Sometimes in Love debut series, which includes Getting Hot with the Scot, Smitten by the Brit, and Once Upon a Bad Boy. She is a former high school English and theater teacher, and she spends her days in her Star Wars-themed office dreaming up meet cutes. She lives in Chicago with her husband, their two redheaded daughters, and one very large dog. So thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I'm very excited to dive into this event and talk about romance books and put some of your creativity to the test in the non-word realm, I guess is a good way to say it. Let's start with some icebreaker questions for those people that, again, maybe don't know you. First of all, my question for you is, what does Bookstore Romance Day mean to you? We'll start with Melonie.
Okay, so Bookstore Romance means to me, it is a celebration of romance. And when you read that blurb, it talked about like repairing relationship with indie bookstores. I would think building relationships with indie bookstores, you know, because and celebrating bookstores that already embrace romance. Like, I want to spend my money and my time at indie bookstores that are like welcoming to the romance community. And if you're not, you're a fool. You are missing out on such a vibrant community that engages with their books in a way that very few communities do, I think, with their books and their authors. So you're missing out. So congratulations to all bookstores that, celebrate Romance Bookstore Day every day.
It's a good answer. And they are missing out. It's very true. All right, Janna, what does Bookstore Romance Day mean to you?
Well, I mean, you know, just jumping off on Melonie's answer, I think it's really become a way for romance readers to develop their own community. Because I think if we look at what's going on within, well, particularly like the last year and a half, we haven't been able to do anything together. And without those indie bookstores that are there to not only carry signed books or swag, but they actually give recommendations. If you like this particular author, you need to do that. You go into one of the big stores, and they don't. If you don't find someone that loves romance, you're not going to get that personal care, that one-on-one. So I really think that they have a synergy of being able to bring everybody together. And it's important because authors need to be able to talk to readers. Readers like to talk to authors. And so I think it's a win-win for everybody. And besides that, when you can walk into a bookstore and just spend a couple of hours looking at all your favorite authors and books, I mean, it's wonderful. You're not relegated to upstairs in the back corner. You're right there in the main front. And that's so important, I think.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Next question to just get us going here. If someone were to write a book or make a movie that was a romantic comedy where you, as yourself, was the heroine of the novel, who would you want your hero to be? And this could be someone fictional. It could be someone in real life. There are no wrong answers. Janna, we'll start with you this time.
Oh, it's easy. Hands down. Cillian Murphy. Peaky Blinders.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As soon as she said.
Oh yeah. But my second would be this guy.
Oh.
You have a signed picture?
I have a signed picture. Yes, exactly. One of my favorite events is Buns and Roses. It's a fundraiser for adult literacy that happens down in Texas.
Yeah.
And that was up for auction. I won it.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's awesome.
So it rests in my bathroom off my office.
It's a good place for it. All right, Melonie, who would your hero be in the romantic comedy life?
I would kind of go in the direction of like Jason Momoa, like somebody big and tough, who is like the kind of incongruity of him in a rom-com. Just love it. The Rock has started to do a bit of that kind of thing, and I volunteer to be in Jason Momoa's first rom-com.
Oh, that would be great. I do. That is a really great thing to see when those actors that don't usually gravitate towards those kind of films are suddenly thrown in there, and they're missing out too. It's got to be fun to make a rom-com, right?
Being funny is often harder than being serious.
Yeah. Well, I remember when the new Ghostbusters, like the Ghostbusters remake with all their names are going to escape me, but they had Chris Hemsworth in it as the receptionist or whatever.
Well, so he can do it. He's got some good comic timing.
Yeah. But so much, I think, everyone thought like, oh, Chris Hemsworth, like Thor and big muscly like action movies. And then you throw him into this and he's got great comedic timing and so yes, need to broaden their horizons. All right. Well, before we launch into some more questions.
I was thinking of that because he wears like the glasses that don't have any lenses in them. Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry.
Right. Now I'm just thinking about Chris Hemsworth. So really quick, before we launch into a few more questions, I want to talk about your two books that have come out recently. Janna, you had a book come out at the end of June called A Duke in Time. And Melonie, hold it up here since all my copies are digital. There it is. Lovely. And Melonie, you had one come out, it was about a month ago?
July 6th. Yeah, it was right around the so not too long after Janna's.
Not too long.
Yeah.
Too good to be real. There
Isn't
it
it gorgeous?
It is gorgeous.
Super cute. I'm just very glad that they got my naughty seagull on the cover.
Yeah.
I think I saw you tweet about that a while ago and I hadn't read the book yet. And so I was just like, what? Naughty Seagull, but now I get it.
What? Yeah.
Now it makes sense. Now I know what the Naughty Seagull is. All right.
Wait, can I do one more?
Yes.
Because this comes out the end of September.
Right.
And I'm very excited about it.
I love it. I saw that. I announced it. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It's actually an anthology of 4 stories that take place all at the same time. And the characters are reoccurring through it. So it's really fun.
Oh, interesting.
And it's a house party. Yeah.
That's kind of a different take on an anthology instead of just your own separate standalone kind of. Oh, very cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. Do you guys want to give a quick summary of each of your books? I have summaries here, but I figured maybe if you want to gush about your characters.
Mine's pretty easy. It is, if you've ever heard of the book or the movie Austenland, which is about a estate that lets visitors experience the world of Jane Austen. My book is Austenland for rom-com lovers. So people get to go to this resort and experience what it would be like to live or be in a romantic comedy, to be in a rom-com. And of course, the heroine is very jaded, and as much as she loves rom-coms, they're just not like real life.
I didn't know about Austin Land. I didn't realize that was the inspiration. That's very cool.
Oh yes, very much so. And if you haven't watched or seen Austenland, I highly recommend. It's a fun one, fun movie.
Cool. Janna?
This book is the first in my new series, The Widow Rules. And so imagine three women walk into a solicitor's office in 1815 to hear the reading of their husband's will, only to discover that all three of them are married to the same man. And so the 3-book series follows these three women who become best friends through their trials and tribulations as they find their happily ever after. And so A Duke in Time is a play on A Stitch in Time, because the heroine embroiders and owns a linen business. So there you have it.
Thank you for clarifying that, because every time I would look at the title, I was trying to relate how it kind of connected with the rest of the story. And I think what I first thought it was like Christian, like it was supposed to be kind of like in the nick of time or something like that, where like Christian comes in and he's like, I come right at the right moment and I help, sort all this out. But that makes more sense.
Yes, but even still though, at the end, he's almost there. He's almost there in the nick of time.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't need him anyway. So there you go.
Right, yeah. He's just a bonus. She doesn't need a man.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, all right. So I'm curious how you both, what was your journey into the romance world? How did it start? Where was your inspiration? Did you ever think you were going to become a romance author, or what was your journey like? Who wants to start? Janna, Melonie?
I'll go first. I never, when I was in college, I purposely planned my classes around not having to write anything. If it was a paper, I wouldn't take the class. I know, how wild, right? Because all I wanted to do was take science and math classes. And of course, that didn't work out very well, because my American government class freshman year, my husband was my TA. That's how we got together. And I had to write a 20-page paper. I know, it's horrible, isn't it? He gave me a B on the paper, and my mother never forgave him, but that's another story. But then I went to law school, and when I was there, I'd always been a huge romance reader. But when I went to law school, I did very well. I got a clerkship at a federal judge, and you had to write every day. So I mean, by then it was old hat. I could do it, but I thought, it's really not that much fun. I think I could write a romance. And so I told a fellow law clerk, she and I went to lunch every day, I think I want to write romance novels. And she practically laughed me out of the courthouse. Like, what? You went to law school to write romance novels? And it kind of set me back a little bit. But then after my kids left for college, I had some time to kind of think about what I wanted to do with my life. And so I decided, well, I'm going to try. So I wrote The Bad Luck Bride, which is the first in the Caversham heiresses, and it was published, and that was it. That's the story. So there you have it.
This isn't supposed to, I hope I'm not offending you by asking this question, but how old were you when you started working on The Bad Luck Bride?
Oh, Lord. Just give me a second, okay? 7 years ago, so 55.
Okay.
No, 51. No, 54. 54.
Somewhere between 50 and 55. Well,
somewhere between 50 and 55. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's great. I always love hearing stories about, I think sometimes people that want to write books, they put that stress on themselves that they have to do it by a certain age, but you can do it anytime. Whenever it strikes, you just go for it.
Yeah. I think the hardest part about writing is ensuring, and we were talking about this before the show started, is to have a regular schedule, because like right now I've been editing for the last month, so I'm getting kind of itchy because I haven't written any words. I'm putting pressure on myself, and it's kind of like, why can't I take a month off and just read all these wonderful books that have come out that I never have the time to write? And I think, you get the mindset, you'll hear a lot of writers and they'll say, oh, I have to write every day. I have to write every day. I have to get this book out. I got to do this. I got to do that. And that's just not the way I'm built. And I can never do something like that. So
yeah,
I don't know why I got off on that, but I think it's just different strokes for different folks. So
yeah,
if somebody wants to write, I suggest they write. There's nothing that says you have to do it every day. You can pick it up. I know some people that their first book took them 5 years to write, and there's not a thing wrong with that.
Yep.
Not a thing.
Like you said, just, you got to find what works for you, and whatever is the best way for you to produce, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
There you go. Melonie, what about you? How did you become the romance writer you are today?
So I actually always enjoyed writing. Like, I was the English, theater major who, although yes, I don't know, if my future husband gave me a B on a paper, I would probably be like your mom and hold it against him forever. So I know I always enjoyed it. I actually was a high school English and theater teacher, and enjoyed that as well. I didn't plan to be a writer or set out to be a writer. It happened by accident. I was still doing the theater stuff. I was directing theater. I had my own children's theater company. And when my littlest one was a baby, I was in a mom's group where we all had toddlers, and we were all kind of our brains needed an outlet that wasn't baby Einstein's. So we joined NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. And a couple of us stuck it out and actually wrote a book, or at least 50,000 words of a book. And I really enjoyed it. And I kind of got, was bit by the writing bug, and decided to, and I'm a longtime romance reader. I read romance novels from the time I was probably too young to read them. So that was kind of a logical segue into what I wanted to write, kind of seeing the stories on the page, that kind of stories that I enjoyed, that, so kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah. What would you say, Melonie, we'll just start with you, we'll just ping pong back and forth. What would you say is your favorite thing about both writing a romance novel and then about reading a romance novel that's not your own, obviously?
Definitely, especially right now, the fact that it's a guaranteed happy ever after, that it's a guaranteed happy ending in a time where everything is what is going on from day to day. Even knowing that the book I'm going to pick up, it's to the point where I've see people recommending books, and I'm like, oh, that looks good, but I'm like, how does it end?
Yeah.
I need to know. There was something someone was raving about. I think it was a movie or something, and it looked romantic, but I'm like, all right, I need to know. And I never was that adamant about, yes, romances require happy endings, end of story, that I will die on that hill. Yeah. But I still enjoyed women's fiction and other kinds of types of books, but no, I need those happy endings. So for me, that as a reader, I really appreciate that. As a writer, I really enjoy taking that spark of attraction, and then seeing how it gets to that point where they're I get to play God. I get to take these two fools and bring them together. So that's fun.
That's a great way to think about your main characters. Be like, these fools over here, they don't know what they're about to get into.
They don't know what's going to happen.
No, just wait, my pretties. Janna, what about you? What do you love about the writing and the reading?
Well, I'm in the hardest part right now of a book where I'm finishing up the editing. And of course, as Nora Roberts always has said, you have to sit in a chair, set your butt in a chair, and just write to get the book done. And of course, those first drafts, I don't know what it's like for Melonie, but for me, it's trash. It really is. It's just getting it out there. And the magic and all that other stuff comes in when it's time for the editing. And so I'm finishing up the editing, and I know when I've done well, when I cry. And I cried during the epilogue because it's so happy. And so this is the last of this series. So everybody's happily ever after. You get to see them after everything's all said and done. And, I just don't want to quite leave these people right now, because that's just the way it is. But it's good. It's good. But, the other thing that I really like about it in this last book, and the book's called How to Best the Marquess. There's a secondary character by the name of the Duke of Pelham. And, he just sparkled. I mean, he just took over his 2 chapters of the book, and just amazing. I mean, so I'm going to write his stories next, because he's wonderful. And those are the kind of gems I love when I'm writing, that I find, because it gets me energized so much more for the next series. And if I can make myself cry, I think that's a good thing. About the reading, like Melonie, this last year and a half has been tough. And I found myself in a real drought of reading. I mean, even my favorite romance authors, sometimes I couldn't do it. So the way that I dug myself out of that hole is that I went back to a couple of my really truly favorite books, and I would reread them, and it kind of got me out of that watching the news 24 hours a day and getting back into it. And I actually found a new series by one of my favorite authors that I hadn't read. So I was
I've heard that from a lot of people, that the rereading of old favorites has been kind of a comfort for them. Oh, definitely. A lot of people I've heard are doing that.
Yeah, that kind of familiarity.
And I think it kind of gets you going to where you realize again why you love romance in the first place. Why these stories connect with us, both, physically, mentally, emotionally. And it's important, because, I mean, my God, this has been the darkest time of my life that I've ever lived in for the last year and a half. So give me some sunshine, baby. I need it.
Yeah. There you go. Sunshine in book form.
Yes.
All right. So we kind of talked about this a little bit when we just talked about Bookstore Romance Day and why we're here and why we're celebrating. But would you like you both to share some of your feelings about the romance community that you're a part of, both your fellow writers, the readers? If you want to get into the publishing side of it too, that's totally fine. But what has been your experience with this community that you're a part of? Janna, we'll go back to you to start.
Well, I mean, I think it's wonderful. I mean, I think it's very positive. I mean, I have a lot of really great friends, best friends that are authors, and they've always been supportive of me. And I think one of the things that I've learned from all of that and from this community is it's so important that you pay back, or you pay forward what others have done for you. And I try to do that. And I hate to get back to this whole year and a half thing, but I really miss not being able to gather with authors in events and things, so that we can talk and just kind of get that energy together, because we do feed off of each other. And when you're isolated like this, I mean, sometimes things get a little tough. I mean, yeah, we Zoom, we Skype, we talk on the phone, but it's not the same as being, across the table from somebody, breaking bread and sharing ideas. So that's it. The readers have been fabulous. I mean, my readers have stuck with me, and I'm finding new readers, and I find that their energy and their excitement for my books helps me become more creative. So I don't know what I'd do without those guys. The publishing industry, my publisher, Melonie's publisher, they're great. I think this has been hard on them too. I mean, I did a panel hosted a panel on the Regency Fiction Writers organization, and it had Monique Patterson and oh my gosh, who were the other two? An editor from Berkeley and an editor from Kensington. And we were talking about this in terms of what was it like working remotely? Could they still feel that the community that they had when they were meeting together, and they all said yes, which I thought was kind of, I mean, it was surprising, and I was glad for them. But I would think that they would miss, just being able to pop into each other's office and say, "Oh my God, I just read the greatest manuscript. Can you read it? What do you think about it?" Or, "I got through 10 pages. I didn't really like it. Should I continue? What would you do if this was the scenario?" Because I was really excited about it. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just a social creature and I just need people. I don't know.
I feel like after this year, we've maybe all realized, like, we're all probably different degrees of social creatures, but I think we've maybe realized more just what that degree is now that there was so much separation. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I could just tell from the panel that having the three of them there, that they really enjoyed each other. Because, they probably never saw each other unless they were at these conferences. Mm-hmm. And so the idea that they got onto a Zoom call at a conference and got to share things, it's pretty neat. So felt lucky about it.
Yeah. Melonie, what about you? You're still, I would say, I guess you're kind of still relatively new, like, on the scene, because what's it been like?
So it was interesting because we were, so I have a couple of author communities that I joined.
Oop, I think Melonie, we might have lost your audio and maybe your visual.
Yeah.
Wait, Melonie, stop.
Am I still frozen?
Oh, there you go. Okay, we lost your audio for a bit. We could see you, but we couldn't hear you.
Everyone's making faces. What happened?
Okay, we can hear you now. You're good.
Yeah. No, just so some of the groups that I became a part of back in the beginning of my career, I'm still very much a part of those communities, and they were always online to begin with. So with what happened with the pandemic, nothing in there changed for us because we were already interacting that way. And we just ended up relying on each other even more than ever. So those connections actually became stronger because they were already a habit. And so, like, every day, all day, these Google Hangouts, just knowing that we call them our pocket friends because they're there.
Yeah.
Your phone and they're right there. Mm-hmm. So those have been very invaluable to me. And also on a professional and a personal level, like, there's definitely, we can talk shop. We can say, okay, this is what, we're all at different stages of success. We're, with different publishers. So sharing that knowledge is so important, and getting, kind of an inside look at things from other places to kind of make better decisions. So all really helpful, really important. And then as far as my readers are concerned, like Janna was saying, I mean, it's just been such a community to help keep me going. Like I have a group called the Reading Lushes on Facebook, and it's just fun little place where we, share cocktail recipes, silly memes of corgis and Scots, hot Scots and kilts, like, it just, whatever is fun. And it's just a place that I know, and Facebook, any social media can be, it can be kind of a minefield, but it is a place that I can go and it is safe and fun. And having that corner of the internet for that has been great. And like Janna said, the support of the readers, because some writing can be a lot. It can be a lot on your, you get the whole, you start to doubt imposter syndrome and doubt yourself and doubt, like, why am I doing this? Why am I, like, staying up all night long to finish this book? And then as you get a great email, or you get someone shares something about how much your book meant to them, how it, they laughed so hard, their husband had to find out what they were reading, got them through a hard time. And you're like, oh, okay, this is why I'm doing this. I can keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of brings you back from the brink.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that imposter syndrome it's real. It's a real thing. All right. Last question, and then we're going to get to the extra fun stuff. If you came across someone and they were looking to get into the romance genre, they'd never really read a romance book before, they were kind of playing with the idea, what would be your kind of go-to title that you would recommend? Oh, start with this, you'll love it. And I'll put my asterisk here and say that obviously there's a lot of like subgenres and want to get their tastes, but if you just kind of had to pick either like a historical romance or a contemporary romance that you just love, that you think is pretty, I don't know, all appealing, I guess, what title would it be? And you can pick your own book if you want. That's fine.
I'll go. I've got visuals, so I'm ready.
Okay.
One of my favorite authors, and I'm going to do historical because that's what I normally read.
Right.
That's not really true. I mean, I read a ton of different stuff. Right now, I will tell you, I get stuck on Harlequin Presents because you can read them in 2 hours and you feel like you're on vacation, and they are just so crazy, so nutsball. You just, you're guaranteed in entertainment. But this lady is one of my favorite authors, and it's Lorraine Heath. And I thought I'd read everything that she'd written, but I found this. And it is a series that I didn't read. And the name of the series are The Lost Heirs of Havisham Hall. Or The Lords of Havisham Hall, excuse me. So this is just a little itsy bitsy prequel. And it's crazy. It's crazy. I will tell you, the female protagonist doesn't make it in this book. I know she broke all the rules with it. She doesn't make it. But she sets up the most brilliant series that's laugh out loud funny.
Prequel, so then he goes on.
Yeah. And the female protagonist does come back in the very end. Okay.
What?
So
I'm very intrigued now.
Well, you told me, what is going on?
And I have to know what happens.
I know. The Earl takes all. And then this last one, oh my God, I just love it. The Viscount and the Vixen. It's about these 4, of course, they're titled young men. They all grow up together. 2 of them are brothers, and they're just friends. The other 2 are friends. And the guy, the male protagonist from this one, raises them as their father. And it's great. I highly recommend it. And I think it gives you all the feels for romance. So.
Okay. Yeah. And Lorraine Heath, I haven't read any of her stuff, but I'm familiar with the name. She's been writing for a while, hasn't she?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. If you haven't read her, you've got to read her. I know. I think she's one of the best in the industry. I really do. She's fabulous.
All right. She's going on the list. Melonie, what about you? What would you?
I started as a historical reader, and often that is still my favorite. And my favorite historical romance author is Laura Kinsale. So if I ever have to recommend, I almost always start with a Laura Kinsale, Flowers from the Storm, which is not your typical romance novel, but if you are going to become a romance reader, if that book doesn't pull you in, you're never going to get pulled. That's kind of my view. That's going to get you. It's going to get you hooked, and it's going to get you in. I love that book so much. And then as far as contemporary goes, Jennifer Cruzy, you really can't go wrong with the classic Bettany. Some really great tropes in there. Her Dempsey series, the family that is just bonkers. She's that either of those as far as kind of the introduction to romance. Mm-hmm. If I was going to put together an introduction to romance 101 course, they would be on there.
Yeah. This I know I didn't prepare you guys for this question, but if you can recall, do you remember what your, if maybe not the first, but one of your first romance books was? Janna's shaking her head yeah, I do.
I do. I've still got it. It's The Desperate Duchess by Barbara Cartland. My mom gave it to me.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's by the way, you can't see her, but my mother is sitting here off camera watching this event. Since
taking notes on what books she's going to read.
Yeah, she's writing notes. Well, I mentioned earlier that we were having lag issues before, so of course, and she's my editor for my Anyway. So of course, anytime there's lag, she's like, oh my gosh, the editing is just a mess. So she's like, we're just going to shut everything down. And, so you have all the internet you need. So instead of watching upstairs on her phone, she's just snuck down here to watch it live, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, back to the event. Melonie, do you remember what your first romance book was?
Yes. And I always forget the name of it. It's Joanna Lindsay. It's Savage Thunder. Yes, it is the one where there is sex on a horse, not with a horse on it.
We talked about this at the last Bookstore Romance event.
What was your first romance comes up a lot. So I was like, I think I was like 10. I was babysitting. Yes, I was babysitting that young. It was a different time. It was the 80s. And it was sitting like out on the coffee table after the kids went to bed. I picked it up and I was just like, it was redheaded heroine, of course. Like I'm always a sucker for it. Mm-hmm. I'm so vain. I love the redheaded heroine. But to be fair, any of the YA stuff that I read, there were no redheads. So like all the YA books and things, it was all, the Sweet Valley High blondes so I was like, give me the redheads. And that's like kind of historical romance. It's like the flamey. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so I was totally hooked, and I'm like, is that even possible? So
that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, I do recall this from the event we did together last year, where I think a lot of people on the panel were just like, yeah, how does that even work? We're just trying to figure out the mechanics.
There's also a Laura Kinsale book with that little tidbit in there as well. Prince of Midnight, it happens in there, but that is taken a little bit more responsibly.
That's good. Responsible.
Responsible horse sex. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. You can have sex anywhere, I guess, is the...
Well, I mean, the authors who write the stuff like on a motorcycle, I'm like, do you know how hard it is to balance?
Yeah. And now you're doing what? Oh, man. Yeah. My first, I'm still, my first, still a fairly new, romance reader, but we had started a bookstore romance, but, oh gosh, I can't speak. We started a romance book club at the bookstore. And the first book that was chosen was Tessa Dare's, oh God, now When a Scot Ties the Knot.
Oh,
that was my first. And it was because, again, Scottish people, men in particular. But I read the description, and, the premise of the book was this girl, she, her family wants her to get married, but she doesn't want to get married. So she just makes up this, Scottish general, and then she can pretend he dies in the war, and she's fine. And then he magically becomes real. And I was just like, oh my God, this is my dream. I want to be able to make up a Scottish general.
Manifest your own hero.
Yeah, and then he's real. So anyway, that was my first. And then I was like...
So you came to romance late then?
I did, yeah. I've only been reading romance for maybe a few years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm still a noob.
You got a lot of time to catch up. A lot of books to...
Yes, I've got, well, and you can't, right up here. Oh gosh, how does camera stuff work? That's my little kind of romance section, is like that top shelf of all the romances I've read. But there's some that I don't own that I've read too. Like I, of course, have read some Sarah McLean. She's over here. She's behind my head. Anyway, yes, so that was my first. Okay, we're going to get on to the, as I said, the extra fun stuff, because this has still been fun. We're just going into extra fun. So this particular Bookstore Romance Day event has games. There might be other events that have games. I don't know, but this one has games. And we're going to start things off by doing some romance Mad Libs, because we love romance, and who doesn't love Mad Libs? I put 3 together. I feel like that might be too many, though. So we're going to start off with, we'll see how it goes. All right. So the first one, the title is called Escape from My Love. And we're just going to have you both help contribute words to this Mad Lib, and then we're going to read it and see what we come up with. This is also, making Mad Libs is really hard, mostly because it tested my knowledge of parts of speech. And there were so many times I was
Wait,
like,
I need an adjective or an adverb.
I know, I'm like, wait, is it that's technically this, right? So hopefully I haven't totally messed it up, but we'll see. Okay, our first word is, oh gosh, that keyboard isn't plugged in. Sorry, I have only so many USB ports. Okay, our first one is a verb, please. Janna.
A verb. Let's go penetrate.
Okay. Next one is an exclamation, Melonie.
Oh dear.
For a second, I was like, is it hard for you to come up with one? And then I realized that was the exclamation.
That was the exclamation.
That was the exclamation. Janna, a noun.
A noun.
Yeah.
Diamond.
Diamond?
Diamond.
All right, Melonie, I need 2 adjectives back to back.
2 adjectives back to back. Oh, very pretty. Does that work?
That works. Okay. Janna, a verb.
Ejaculate.
Oh my goodness.
And I'll tell you why I picked that one. Barbara Cartland was famous for, instead of saying she said or he said, it would always be he ejaculated. He would use that word in terms of said.
Why would you use said if you could use a sexual reference instead?
Right, exactly.
Oh my
exactly.
God, Barbara Cartland.
And remember, she never had any real sex in her books, you know? So
it was all up here, all imaginary. That's
yeah.
She's the real MVP here. Okay. Oh, I need.
Do you want another verb?
No. That's perfect. I'm just trying to. I'm rereading my sentence because I deleted what part of speech I need before I asked, and now I don't know what.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you did.
Yeah. I think it was a noun. Particularly, a noun. Particular odor related.
An odor related noun.
An odor related noun.
Huh.
Good Lord. That's
or
tough.
I guess a noun that has an odor.
Crash.
What?
Trash.
Crash.
T trash.
Trash. Got it. Thank you. Because I was like, crash. What? Okay. Janna, an adjective, please.
Surrender. Or pardon me. Surrendering.
Okay. Melonie, a verb.
Dash.
Yeah. Okay. Janna, an adverb. Definitely longer than I thought.
How about lustfully?
Lustfully. Good one. All right, Melonie, I need an adjective followed by a sound.
Gross. Ugh.
Boy,
God.
keep those compound stuff with Melanie.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of it. She's good at this stuff.
All right. I have done Mad Libs in ages, and I'm remembering how ridiculous they're going to be at the end. Now I need, I did it again. I think I need a verb. Janna, a verb.
How about, oh boy. How about inquire? Inquired.
Okay. Melonie, another adjective.
Strange.
Just reading this as I go is already entertaining. Janna, another adjective.
How about passionate?
All right. Melonie, another adjective. That was another thing I was like realizing where romance is, it's all about the adjectives.
Delicious.
Yeah. Ooh.
All right. Janna, an adverb.
Boldly.
Okay. Melonie, a noun?
Chair.
Okay, Janna, a verb? We're almost there.
Oh boy, a verb, huh? How about pulverize?
All right, there's 2 adjectives back to back. I'll take one from Melonie and then one from Janna.
2 adjectives back to back, but I think I have come up with one of them. Chili.
And Janna?
How about dripping?
Okay.
You're talking about popsicle, right?
Good.
All right, another adjective, because that's clearly all these are. Melonie, go back to you.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Toasty.
Okay. All right, what about a noun from Janna?
Since my dog's bugging me, let's say dog.
All right, let's do another noun from Melonie.
Horse.
Ooh.
And then a verb from Janna.
How about rupture?
Okay, and then Melonie, you get both exclamations. We have another exclamation.
Oh.
By Jove.
Okay. All right, I think that is all of them. Okay, all right. Are we all ready for this ridiculous Mad Lib titled "Escape from My Love"?
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is gonna be interesting. I hope I did all the right, conjugations. We'll see. All right. Francesco penetrated on the door. "Hello," he cried. "Is anyone there?" "Oh dear," Jennifer sighed. "Looks like we might be diamond for a while." She tossed her very pretty hair over her shoulder, and Francesco ejaculated as the scent of trash washed over him. Jennifer was so surrendering. He'd secretly dashed her for so long. Now they were stuck in an escape room together. He lustfully ran his hands through his hair. "Keep it together, Francesco," he thought. A gross ugh came from behind him. "Sit down," Jennifer inquired. "It will probably be a while." Francesco looked at her. Her eyes were so strange, her skin so passionate. He loved her so much. He should just tell her now. With delicious legs, he walked boldly to Jennifer's side and sat. He wasted no chair. "Jennifer, I need to tell you something," he began. She pulverized at him with those chilly, dripping eyes. "Yes," she said, her voice like toast. Francesco opened his dog. The horse of the room suddenly ruptured open. "By Jove," Jennifer said. She stood and left the room, escaping Francesco's love once again.
Do not blame you, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take your chilly, dripping eyes and go get that taken.
Sounds like she's sick, doesn't it?
I know, right? She's got. You should run away, Francesco. She's got some.
I do like a voice like toast, though. That's good.
That worked out. Yeah, you're like, I guess.
Warm and crunchy.
Yeah, a little bit of butter on it. Oh my, that was great. That was great. All right. Well, that was. I don't want to.
I think one was Save
one,
your
yeah,
other
I think I don't want to send out. Yeah.
There you go. We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that another time. All right. Okay, now we're gonna get into the other fun stuff. These are the ones where you can win prizes.
Oh.
So there's that. Both the authors, you guys get to win prizes, and a reader gets to win a prize.
Oh, good.
All right. So one of our other creative challenges was to design your own romance cover. Melonie, there were just
I did not, but I can show you. I can show you a favorite romance cover that I wish I could design.
that I wish I had skill. All right, let's see it. And then Janna, you do have a couple.
So anything, Alexis Daria, she specifically hired or had Avon hire this artist, and he is amazing. And so her covers are there's artwork. Like it could be a framed piece of art on your wall. And You Had Me at Ola was last year's book, and A Lot Like Adios comes out next month and is just as gorgeous, if not more. And I am like, I tell her, I'm like, I'm like, just like so jealous. So jealous, but in a good way, because they're just so amazing. But she's a graphic artist herself, so she was very particular with covers and how they were made. And her hand was in all of it. So that, like, it really kudos to her for being, such an advocate for how she wanted her covers made. And the results are it's just amazing.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, when I saw that, it was a very stunning cover. So, all right, Janna, I'm gonna let you go ahead and show your homemade cover, and then I'll also show.
Yes, this is one that I made specifically for you guys today. The Good, the Bad, and the Duke, and that is my dog in Top Hat. Mad Max.
So cute. I love it. That's actually a really fun idea. That's clever. I didn't even think about like that. Take your own cover and do something silly to it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I'm going to totally make a game out of that for my readers. Yes. Like, what is the seagull carrying away? Like,
right.
Yeah. I'm writing it down as an idea for another event. At another time we do is
clever.
Yeah. Redo your own cover. Love it. All right. Well, Janna also, so I sent both these lovely writers some just random images, which was interesting to do. I was sitting next to my partner, just Googling weird things, and he's looking over my shoulder like, the first one I did was shirtless men, of course. And I was just like, it's not what you think. It's not what you think. All right. But Janna she put together a cover with, oh gosh, what the heck am I doing? I'm screen sharing.
Well, there's a prize involved. Janna wins, because I told her.
Yes. Janna wins homemade cookies is what I decided. So.
Oh, wow.
That's lovely.
Yes. So
great. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's my way to both give you a prize for your hard work as well as jumpstart myself into making cookies, which I've just been wanting to do for a while. So now I have, I've got a good reason to really kick myself in the butt.
I have a secret stash drawer right here.
Yeah.
So I've got my dots.
Oh.
And so I'll put your cookies in there too.
All right, perfect. All right. Let's actually, here, look. With my fancy 2 monitors, we're going to put it up on this one. Maybe. Oh, goodness. Zoom out so you can see it in all its gorgeousness. All right, here it is. And share.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
isn't it gorgeous?
Not bad, Janna.
And she titled, like, I was just like, design a cover, but she came up with a title and she went all out. So.
Well, that was the closest thing that looked like a historical, but if you can tell, I didn't even center my name. So it was very rushed.
That's okay. It looks great. What would the Duchess's mistletoe mistake be?
Well, you know what she did? She, had this hide and go seek, at her Christmas party, and she went into the closet, and unfortunately it was the footman that was in there. And I'm afraid that the Duke was not too pleased. So it's the mistletoe mistake.
Oh no.
I know. It's horrible.
All right.
Oopsie.
But there you go. A+ to Janna for her lovely cover.
Thank you.
And for our panelists that are here, you don't even have to do anything to win a prize. You just had to be here. I will do a random number generator here in a bit, and whoever it is gets to pick what book they would like. They can either get a free copy of Janna's A Duke in Time, or they can get a free copy of Melonie's Too Good to Be Real. Just because it's Bookstore Romance Day and everyone deserves a romance book.
Absolutely.
All right. Our next game, so I called it Unlikely Lovers. Janna, we were talking before. It's basically kind of like The Odd Couple. But I sent them a bunch of characters from various pop culture things, movies, books, TV shows, and paired them with another person from another bookstore or book. I can't speak. Book, TV show, whatever. And then they had to kind of create the plot points of if they were going to write a book with these two people being the hero and the heroine of the book, they had to come up with some key plot points about how they would meet and what would happen. So let's start. Our first one was Kat Stratford from 10 Things I Hate About You, and she met Wesley from The Princess Bride. Melonie, what were your plot points? How did it
I'm going to improv this.
Okay, this is great. I love
so Kat's an artist. So she will be out, in the garden somewhere at a field, and she will be, doing some drawing, and Wesley, who is still in his, stable boy phase, will traipse across the field, and she will spot him. That's how they meet. It's like, you ruining my painting.
Get out of my shot.
And so let's see, how are they forced together? So the king's men come running through, stampeding through. And so he ends up, getting her out of the way because she's not going to move because all of her paints and all of her things are there and she doesn't want to have to get it all gathered up to move. And he's like, you're going to be, killed. And she's like, they'll stop for me. And he's like, no, they won't. And so he, pushes her out of the way, saves her life, and they go rolling and tumbling. Just like in The Princess Bride, rolling and tumbling together. And now they're going to be stuck together. I think one of them has to break something, so then the other one has to take care of them.
Okay. I like it. Janna, what's your story arc? You crazy characters.
Mine was that Kate and Wesley are in a solicitor's office because that's perfect. And they each are listening to the reading of the will, and there is a stipulation on a piece of property that they both want. Now, Wesley wants this property because it means a great deal to his good friend. What's the guy's name? Inigo Montoya.
Inigo Montoya, yes.
Yeah, and that's why he wants it. Now, Kate wants it because, it's her great aunt's old house, and she thinks her great aunt really wanted her to have it. So anyway, the solicitor says you both have to live in this house together, and you've got to find the original deed to the house. Whoever finds that first gets the house. Okay, so they go in there, and Kate decides that they have to tape everything off. So the dining room table's taped off halfway. The kitchen's taped off halfway, of course, in the sink so they can have some water. They both can have water. The bed, there's only one bed, one bedroom, obviously. And so they tape the bed. Okay. And what happens is that, they do, they're working, they're trying to find this will, but they're not working together. And so when they go to bed, they're both exhausted. And somehow or other, they wake up in the middle of the night and they're both together in the middle. Well, Wesley thinks that Kate is trying to seduce him, and Kate thinks that Wesley is doing the same with her. And so the next day Wesley realizes they really need to work together on this house to try to find the deed. So he wines her and dines her and he dances with her and does all of this, and she just she knows that what he's doing. But there's a ghost in the story, and it happens to be Montego's father, the one. Anyway, and
of
so
course.
The ghost, of course. And so the ghost is the one that actually shows them where the deed is, and they come together and they realize that they're better as a couple instead of being apart. So what they do is that they get married, and so that they both can live in this place. And then they invite what's the guy's name? Inigo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Inigo. They invite him to live with them, and so they all live happily ever after.
That I love the idea of Inigo Montoya's father.
Yeah, bringing them all together.
Goes be like, look, guys, you gotta work your stuff out.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Oh, I forgot to say, all you people watching in the webinar, you get to vote on which story, whatever, is the best. That's how.
No, it's yours.
That's how the authors get to win a prize again. And then again, you don't have to do anything. You just have to be here. We'll do another random number generator, and then one of you will get more free books. So be tallying who you think is the best. All right, our next couple. This one, I don't know why this one makes me extra happy, is Thor, God of Thunder, sort of the Chris Hemsworth rendition, and Galadriel from Lord of the Rings. Jenny, you want to start this time?
Sure, I can start this time. Can you hear me okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Thor's got a big hammer, and Galadriel wants it. She needs it because she's going to take over the castle, and she needs that hammer to be able to knock down the stone walls. And of course, Thor keeps his hammer in his bedroom. So she breaks in. And unfortunately, Loki's put like a spell around it. And so neither one of them can get out. And Galadriel's lost her powers of being able to read minds and do all that other kind of stuff. And of course, Thor's hammer's not really working that well because of the enchantment. And Thor thinks she's Tinkerbell because, of course, he's not really that bright. So he tells her, look, I don't know what your deal is, but you need to be going back to Never Land because I've got big things here that I got to get out of this
That's
room and go from there. And so what they do is that, because she can't do that, because she can't read his mind, she thinks he's an idiot. And but they do decide that they have to work together because, of course, on these stories, enemies to lover, they have to do that. And so they do, and they figure out that the best way to get out of that enchanted room is just to open up the door because for whatever reason, Loki's magic didn't, extended the door. So they go out. Thor's hammer gets all of its powers back.
Is often the best.
Yeah.
Yes. And actually, I should have him go through the closet. Maybe there was a hidden closet door. That's it. So they went through that.
Nerdy influence.
And so Thor realizes when they get out of there, that's not Tinkerbell. It's a beautiful, powerful elf. And so they go together and they win the castle and fall in love. And, he drops down to one knee and promises Melody for forever. And of course, I think Galadriel was married, wasn't she? But so her husband must have died during this enchantment period. So she's free to marry
really
now.
long enchantment period.
Yeah. So anyway, they marry.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I love that Loki was an accidental, wingman.
Yeah.
He probably didn't mean for that to happen, but
no.
Jokes on you.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah. Mistakes were made, all by Loki. All right, Melonie. What's the story here?
In this one, Thor has lost his hammer in Galadriel's heart.
Oh. The innuendo here is just great. I love it.
So he obviously needs to find his hammer, and she is like, yeah, you can come searching through my bushes if you need to help me first, though. I need a favor from you. So of course she knows where it is, but she's not going to tell him. So she wants him to help her. There's some threat to her power in the forest, so she wants him to be her muscle in this fight. And then so he agrees to do it, and they work out a plan. And then he finds out that she's known where it is all along and could have just told him. So he has a big hissy fit and goes stomping off. And but then he realizes the danger that she's actually in, so he can't help himself. He has to come back to help her. And she rewards him for his loyalty by giving him his hammer, and they celebrate the victory in the best way possible.
Love it. All right. We'll do one more, and then we'll do our voting to see who is the ultimate storyteller for the grand title. Oh, sorry, my cat was over on the couch snoring, and apparently I woke her up. My bad. All right, our last one, we're gonna do Elsa from Frozen, and she is paired with Princess Leia, which I kind of threw in Princess Leia, and then after the fact, I remember that Melonie's a big Star Wars person, so it worked out really well. Melonie, we'll have you start.
Okay, so let's see here. So you've saw Elsa. Let's see. So Elsa and her powers. We have Princess Leia, and we have to figure out how would they even meet. How does that like?
In a galaxy far, far away. How did these two meet?
Seriously. Okay, well, here's so obviously something has landed on this ice planet. There's a rebel base on this ice planet, and Princess Leia has arrived to help that rebel base evacuate before the bad guys arrive. I don't know, this might have happened before. So she's there on this ice planet to help everyone evacuate. But Elsa, she's like, excuse me, this is my world. Like, who do you think you are coming here and telling me everyone has to get out? And she's like, you don't understand. Some big bad dude's going to come and, destroy everything. You have to get out. You have to trust me. And she's like, well, why should I trust you? And then she talks about how, about hope and hoping what, rebellions are built on. And, the two of them could work together. And Elsa's like, well, why don't you stay here and fight? And the two of us can work together to destroy the bad guy. And Princess Leia is like, I like that spunk. I like that fire. All right, we can try that. And so they team up and they create like this ultimate, Princess Leia discovers her powers of the Force and realizes that she can fly because I'm still not over that, by the way. I'm still not over that scene, by the way. I do not forgive the people who did that. Anyway, so okay, she can fly. So with Elsa's ice powers and her flying abilities and the Force, they repel the bad guys. They do not get to enter the galaxy, and they live happily ever after in Elsa's ice castle. There you go.
Yay!
Love it. All right, Janna. What's the story with Elsa?
Oh, well, they're at a house party and they're playing hide and go seek, and so they get. Everything has to be at a house party. Has to be historical, and so they, of course, pick the same wardrobe to hide in, and their corsets get hooked together, face to face, and so Princess Leia's mom and dad find them, and Elsa's aunt finds them together. And those three are just absolutely thrilled with what they've discovered, because now these two have to get married, right? But they can't stand each other. And so, Elsa, the parents and the aunt tell them that they have to go out and, just try to find some type of commonality, because, they've made a huge embarrassment for everybody. So they go out, they ride scooters, they walk, they still don't really like each other. And so Leia figures out the way to actually have Elsa just leave her, and that's to ride her scooter into a dump truck. Well, Elsa hasn't really discovered her powers yet, and so she's getting really nervous. She's frantic. And what happens, though, is that Princess Leia has really kind of tricked her, because it's just a holograph of Princess Leia on the scooter going to the dump truck. So Elsa lifts up, magically her powers happen, and so she lifts up the dump truck. The holograph disappears, and Leia really realizes that Elsa loves her. And because of that, she realizes that she loves Elsa too. So there's a huge wedding, but now the fight is where they're going to live, either in the frozen land or if they're going to go back to Princess Leia. So they decide that they'll compromise on seasons. But of course, there are no seasons, so who knows? But they're happily ever after.
Yeah, we're tired of this house. We're going to go to the other one now.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. Like, they really do love each other.
Yeah, they really do. They really do.
That's great. All right. So, the time has come. The time has come. All right, all you people, all of you out there. So we had Kat Stratford and Wesley. We had Thor and Galadriel. And there was Elsa and Princess Leia. Who had the best story for each of them? We'll give a moment for you to decide. You can post into the chat. Yes. Need our Jeopardy music.
While they're voting, I can tell. So the movie I'm talking about, the Star Wars it was like the newer ones. It was like the second one of the new 3. And it's a long movie and I had to pee so bad. So I finally get up to leave to go and I come back and I'm like, what did I miss? And my husband's like, Princess Leia like leapt through the ship's window and flew. And I'm like, liar, shut up. I'm like, you know what? Never mind. Don't tell me. I was so angry at him. I thought he was bullshitting me. Sorry. And then when we finally, bought the DVD and I like, it was true. But I really thought he was lying to me, making this ridiculous thing up, and it is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I would have probably felt the same way because that doesn't sound real. You're like, oh yeah, Princess Leia, she just like up and flew through this window. She's like, no way.
Like what? She used the Force like Superman style and flew back to the ship. I'm like, you are such a liar. Yeah. Never mind.
And
sorry, I asked.
But yeah, the Star Wars universe was like, hold my beer, I have to go. It made Melonie feel like an idiot.
I really thought he was lying.
That has to be so upsetting. Like I can only imagine the just sadness that you felt when you realized. You're like, oh no.
It's whatever. It's
It's like you're over it, but you're not like really over it, but you're over it.
Well, and that's what we start, as far as like Star Wars is concerned, like the whole like, the tweaking something that's already done, and like how George keeps going back to the first ones and kept just leave it alone.
Yeah. Sometimes like just it's good like well, I'm sure you guys can both relate because
and that's the thing is like once it's out there, once your art is out there, just let it go, as Elsa says. Let it go.
Let it go. Yeah, just gotta let it be.
Move on to the next thing. Yeah.
And if you really want to make changes, just like make up in your mind and be happy with them for you. You don't need to go and mess with just screw everything up.
Yeah, that's an interesting question though. I'm going to be in a book club next month, and we're actually going to talk about what the host is going to ask me a question. What would I change in my book now that it's out? And I mean, it's a very interesting concept. Would you change anything if you could? Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what kind of answer I come up with, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is
I mean, I wish there wasn't any mistakes for sure, but those always happen.
There's things that I would change, but there's changing things and then like messing with it over and over
and over and over. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And you've seen that with I know Melonie has, because she's a Golden Heart finalist from a long time ago, which was like a big award for authors that hadn't been published yet. And some of these people just would not leave their stories alone. They would just keep on working on that first 45, 50 pages, whatever it was that had to be turned in. And they never finished the book, So it's kind of like sometimes,
So the whole like perfect is the enemy of done. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I know,
great line. Yeah.
I know I've heard of some people who do it, but when you edit as you write, I feel like that is that surefire way to just you get so wrapped up in fixing it.
You can get stuck in your own purgatory of your own making, because like Janna was saying, and that's the thing that I'm as a new writer, I was definitely at fault for that, going back and cleaning up, because those early chapters are safe, they're written, they're comfortable, and I can play in them and fix them, and what happens next is scary and unknown and hard. So as a new writer, big mistake to get stuck in that editing purgatory. But as I'm writing more and having more expectations on me, getting that vomit draft out, that zero draft out is so important. And then edit.
Yeah. I completely agree.
And the thing of it is that anytime anybody reads your book, they're going to have their own ideas on what it is. And so the question becomes, is it really still your art? I mean, once you release that out, because everybody has a different interpretation.
That's definitely it. Because they bring all of their own thoughts, feelings, experiences, emotions, everything to the table, and you have zero control over that.
Yeah. There's a line. I think it's John Green says it. I think. I mean, he might not have been the first one, but he made a comment once that books belong to their readers. And I think to a degree that's true, because once someone else has read it, no matter what you intended to elicit or to make them feel or think, you don't have any control over that. It's whatever they take from your work.
Right.
So you can only do so much. So yeah. All right, only one.
I love that expression though. Perfect is the enemy of done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down. That's great. I've never heard that before.
I didn't come up with it.
Yeah.
My husband
it's great.
is a computer programmer and a coder, and he lives by that creed. Because if they didn't get stuff out, like
yeah, you don't always have the luxury to just do it over and over and over again. You have to give something. Yeah. All right, we only have one person that voted. There's more of you out there. You should vote, and then we can decide who the ultimate storyteller is. This is a really serious award, guys. You can put this in your bios. Say, I did this romance event once, and I got the ultimate storyteller award, so kind of a big deal. Oh, yes. Sorry, Megan. Just go ahead and post it right in the comments. Just say who you think for each story, and we'll tell you.
I think we both should be it.
That's what I was going to do. If we only got one vote, I'd be like, you know what? You both are winners, because they were all great. They were all great stories.
We both get participation trophies.
Yay, participation trophy. All right.
All right,
that's horrible.
Well, of the votes, we have many for Janna, but I think Janna's right. We should all
we all won.
It's all good.
We all won. All right. Well, before we wrap up, since we're going a bit over already, we want to open it up for any questions that our viewers might have had during the event, or anything they want to say to our authors while we're here. So go ahead and post them in the chat. We will read them off to our authors. And
well, while you guys are doing that, I hope everybody gets a chance to read Melonie's books, because they are truly delightful. And I mean, I've enjoyed every one of them that I've read. And I think rom-com's a very hard subgenre to write, and she excels at it. So please, please, please pick up her books. You'll be delighted. I promise.
I have Janna's book here. One of my lushes is actually going to win this copy.
Oh,
one of my reading lushes will win it. Yes.
Cool. Yep, we're all winning.
Thank you, Melonie.
Yeah, of course. And check out her new holiday book. That looks like so much fun. Anything with a house party, and I'm in. I love the idea of everyone sneaking around at night to each other's bedrooms.
Well, my couple is estranged, so they're married and they're trying to find their way back to each other. So it's pretty cute. It's pretty cute, but yeah. But it's a pretty wild house party. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I still just like that it's a very kind of unconventional anthology. Just it takes so
you all had to use the same characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there was like we all got together at the very beginning of the project. And everybody has a job. It's called, the party itself is called the Revelry. And it is the most exclusive house party in all of England, because invitations come out the 1st of October and they're published in the paper. So everybody knows who's coming to this party. And it's not all the aristocracy. I mean, it could be a scientist. It could be an actress. It could be a musician. That just has to be really interesting people, and they've been evaluated all year long, and they don't know why. So, but everybody wants to come. Yeah. And so there's special licenses that are thrown out for marriage, like confetti. Nobody really,
it's one of those things, like what happens at this house party stays at this house party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That there's a lot that could go on. It's gotta stay contained.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I did like the answer about someone saying that Elsa's a badass for defeating Darth Vader. So
yeah.
Oh gosh. Elsa, I mean, she's got awesome powers. She made herself an ice castle and she could totally kick Vader's butt.
Right, especially with the help of Princess Leia, the two of them together.
Yes. Their powers combined.
Right.
All right. We have a question. What other genres do you all enjoy reading? Janna, you want to go first?
Well, I talked about earlier about the Harlequin Presents, because I mean they're very short, concise, and one of the things that I've discovered about myself during this year and a half is that when I do sit down to read, sometimes I can't get into a book very. I can get into a book, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it sticks with me. I used to could read, like a book this length within a day. And I find now that it kind of takes me 2 to 3 days. And I think it's all because of, what we've been going through. So anyway, I really like those, but I do adore contemporaries. And I just finished, now this was an erotic sci-fi, The Morning Glory Milking Farm. Hysterical.
I've heard people talk about this on Twitter.
Oh my God, it's so sweet. I mean, it's a sweet, sweet story, but it reminds me of the bar from the original Star Wars, because there are all these different creatures that are there, and it's just great.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Cool.
Yeah, you should pick it up.
Yeah.
I do enjoy mysteries. I enjoy the more kind of like I haven't really read too many cozy mysteries, but I think I will be saving that for my later years. I think I will definitely be a cozy mystery lady one day. But I do enjoy in the right around October, fall, Halloween time, I start to really get an itch for the paranormals.
Yes. I do too.
Yep. Yeah, there is such a thing as seasonal reading, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm actually reading The Hex X. I think it comes out September 28th. Mm-hmm. And I forgot who the author is, but it's really cute. It's about this witch that I think she's dating a warlock, and he breaks up with her. It's about how she gets revenge.
Paranormal rom-coms coming out this fall, and I'm like, that's like what I started with before I got published. So I am definitely hoping to eventually be able to say this is my paranormal, because I have some ideas.
Yeah. And that's what gets the creative juices flowing, isn't it? You've got those ideas and you can't wait.
When I was first writing it, it wasn't a thing. And all of a sudden it's like exploding this fall. There's so many witchy rom-coms. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just biding your time, Melonie. You're like, I know.
Well, that's the problem. Like, I mean, hopefully my ship has not sailed, so we'll see.
Yeah, that can be tough. The fad comes and goes so quickly, and then
but who knows? Yeah, it's fine.
But you know what though, I think, and particularly remember after 9/11, the angel stories were very, very popular, and they kind of turned a little bit darker with the archangels and things like that. But I mean, that lasted for quite a while. And then we got into the small town contemporaries that were very popular. And I mean, I think they're still popular, but I can see this thing going just bonkers because of the last year and a half. We all want magic. We all want that, that's instant thing.
Plus it's seasonal. So like you're hungry for it. And then the next season you want the fresh stock. So let's see it.
Fresh stock. Absolutely.
Because 2022, I've already got a book coming. Who knows? We'll see.
Things like that can be cyclical, I feel like, too. Some like you had a period where this was the thing and a lot was coming out.
Oh, this stuff like a lot of trends I think are definitely cyclical, not just with types, but also with covers. Like the covers go through a cyclical.
Yeah. Very true. It's very true. All right. Any other questions for our panelists, or not panelists, attendees? You guys are the panelists. All right. Well, it's quiet. It's been a bit longer than we expected, so we should let you two get out of here because you both have other events later today. Do you want to mention them really quick if anyone hasn't gotten enough Janna and Melonie here?
Janna, are you doing Love Sweet Arrow tonight?
I am. I'm going to be at Love Sweet Arrow this evening. I mean, virtually at 7:00 Central Time. So that would be 6 Eastern. No, that'll be 8 Eastern and 6 Mountain Time and 5 Pacific Time.
I know all the times.
All these times, yeah.
All of the times.
I'm doing one with Rediscovered Books, I think it is, and it's so Priscilla Oliveras, myself, Sarah Skelton, and Tiff Martello, and we're doing a sip and share, so it's an excuse to drink, basically. And
Oh,
that's
that's
at
great.
Central, so a little bit later. So a lot of the events, so if you're doing Bookstore Romance Day, you could be doing stuff all day long.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. When I was scrolling Twitter this morning and, checking everything out, there were so many things for Bookstore Romance Days. So
It's
there's no shortage of anything to do for the rest of the day. All right. Oh, well, I suppose, and also too, I should announce our winners for getting free books, because everyone's getting free romance books today. Our first winner for our random number generator game is Megan. So yay, Megan, you'll be winning a book. And our other winner was Normandy. So
great.
You both get to pick, hooray! You both get to pick whatever book you would like. If you would like Janna's book or you would like Melonie's book. I think, well, maybe we should do it here before. I don't know if I have their emails.
I mean, you can let us know, and then I'm happy to send bookmarks, stickers, signed book plates, all that stuff to
perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Normandy and Megan, before you run off, don't know if you can send me a message. I don't want to leave this and then, well, maybe the better way to do this.
Facebook message you, because you've got the Facebook account, so they can message your Facebook account.
Yeah.
Send the Crowded Bookshelf a Facebook message. We're just the Crowded Bookshelf on Facebook, or you can email me, because I'm the only one. It's thecrowdedbookshelffc@gmail. So Megan, Normandy, just email me. I'll get an address from you, and I will get you a book, and we'll get with, if for any swag. Melonie's offering up some swag.
And I'll offer up some swag too. So
cool. All right. There's books and swag. Yes, Megan Edwards, you are the only one here. So so you and then Normandy has email me or message Facebook, whatever is the easiest thing, and we'll get you your stuff. Thank you all for coming and attending and watching. Janna, Melonie, thank you again for coming out and doing this event. It was great. There were some, there's stories for you to write in the future now. With it's gonna be the next Shades of Grey, where you're doing fan fiction and then just gonna change it into a real book.
Yeah.
It'll be better than 50 Shades, though.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Renee. This has been so much fun, and thank you to the Crowded Bookshelf for having us today. It's been
thanks for having
a blast.
New endeavor. I'm excited for you, and it was good to see you, Janna.
Yeah, same here, Melanie.
All right. Well, thanks everyone again for coming out. I'll be hearing from our contest winners, getting them some free books. If you didn't win, you can still always purchase the book. So you can go to crowded-bookshelf.com and order a copy of the book there, either a physical copy, audiobook, ebook, whatever version you'd like. And you can also go to both of these authors' website and check out all the other books that they have written. I will make sure that their website link is in the description of this video on Facebook and everywhere else that it goes up, so you can find it easily. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I hope the other events go well, and we will see you both around.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.